Hello, my name is Jennifer Quayle, and this is a video presentation on high leverage practices, or HLPs. I will describe what they are, where they came from, and what their purpose is. The specific HLP I chose to expand upon is teaching cognitive and metacognitive strategies to support learning and independence. To begin, I will explain how high leverage practices were created, who created them, and their purpose. High leverage practices, or HLPs, were first developed in 2015 by the partnership between the Council for Exceptional Children, or CEC, and the Collaboration for Effective Educator Development, Accountability, and Reform, or CEDAR. The HLPs were organized around collaboration, assessment, social, emotional, and behavioral aspects, and instruction. From these four areas, 22 practices were developed to address the most important practices that every K-12 SPED teacher should master and incorporate into their teaching practice. The HLPs provide a framework for student teachers and educators to design a focused curriculum that integrates coordinated, effective practice opportunities that are threaded throughout their learning program. Additionally, these practices for instruction are to be used to teach both academic content as well as emotional, behavioral, and social skills. Additionally, HLPs can also be used in collaboration with other professionals and parents. The HLP that I chose to explain further is HLP 14, Teaching Cognitive and Metacognitive Strategies to Support Learning and Independence. The HLP literature states, teachers explicitly teach cognitive and metacognitive processing strategies to support memory, attention, and self-regulation of learning. Learning involves not only understanding content, but also using cognitive processes to solve problems, regulate attention, organize thoughts and materials, and monitor one's own thinking. Self-regulation and metacognitive strategy instruction is integrated into lessons on academic content through modeling and explicit instruction. Students learn to monitor and evaluate their performance in relation to explicit goals and make necessary adjustments to improve learning independently. To better understand what that HLP literature states, I will now define cognition, cognitive strategies, metacognition, and metacognitive strategies. So what is cognition? Cognition is defined as the mental action or process of acquiring knowledge and understanding through thought, experience, and the senses. Cognitive strategies, therefore, require explicit teaching and are strategies that teach the student to use the mind to solve a problem or complete a task, such as remembering information, applying information, constructing sentences and paragraphs, editing work, or classifying new information. Additional cognitive strategies serve to support learners in developing internal procedures that enable him or her to perform complex tasks. With that said, the internal procedures just mentioned deal with metacognition and metacognitive strategies. Metacognition is defined as the awareness and understanding of one's own thought processes. It consists of two components that work together. The first component is metacognitive knowledge, or knowledge people have about their own cognition, tasks, and strategies. The second component is metacognitive processes, which allow for the monitoring and regulation of one's own cognition, including planning, monitoring, and evaluating. Metacognition can also be thought of as the internal conversation inside the student's head. Metacognitive strategies are methods to help students understand the way they learn or process. The process is designed for students to think about thinking. Many students spontaneously create their own metacognition. However, individuals with special needs need explicit teaching of metacognitive strategies. By teaching these skills to both students with special needs and students without special needs, their academic achievement increases. Educators understand the necessity of teaching cognitive strategies to their students. However, many educators lack the understanding of the importance of teaching metacognitive strategies as well. By teaching students to question and analyze how and why they think about certain things, they gain the ability to solve complex problems and achieve higher academic achievement. One way to teach students metacognitive strategies is through the use of formative assessment probes. These questions are interesting and engage students in the process of thinking. One such strategy is the think aloud. After giving a specific probe or question, students are required to think internally about the concept or idea. Students then share their thinking out loud with a partner. One student thinks out loud while the other person listens, and then the roles swap. After each person shares their thinking, the two work as a team to discuss similarities or differences with each other and ask further clarifying questions. This strategy provides the opportunity for students to organize their thoughts and explain their thinking prior to providing an explanation to the entire class or their teacher. Another strategy involving a probe is the "where did my idea come from?" Educators know and understand that students are not blank slates and enter the classroom with an enormous amount of information and associations to the world around them. This information has been gathered by previous experiences or learnings from earlier classroom teachings, as well as experiences outside of the classroom learned from family members, friends, or strangers. Additionally, today's technology, including movies, social media, and the internet, provide much information to everyone. This strategy provides the opportunity for students to narrow down and identify where their initial ideas come from. Teachers can create charts through the classroom to gather the various places students' ideas come from. Another strategy of this type is the "I used to think, but now I know." This strategy provides opportunities for students to retrospectively analyze their learning. This strategy can be used as an ending activity of a lesson or as a follow-up lesson for additional teaching. In addition to incorporating various metacognitive strategies for students, teachers must also construct learning environments that support all students' metacognitive thinking through systems and strategies that provide learners the opportunity to implement these strategies independently. To address the needs of students to plan for learning, think about learning as it occurs, monitor and understand learning, and evaluate their learning following an activity, learning logs can be integrated into the classroom. These can provide students the ability to record learning steps, think about the learning purpose, and what needs to change for the purpose or the process to improve. According to an article titled "Why Didn't I Think of That?" Learning logs support learning experiences. Students think about what worked and what did not work, what their own role in the learning process was. Together, these reflections provide a framework for internalizing thinking and increasing students' self-efficacy. Depending upon students' abilities, additional support can be provided, such as teacher-led discussions focusing on questions such as, "What did I do? How did I do it? How did the teacher help me? And what did I learn?" Scaffolding can also be incorporated throughout this process by providing additional prompts that fade as the student's abilities increase. In summary, metacognition is not only the awareness of one's thinking and learning, it is also the awareness that one is a thinker or a learner. Additionally, building metacognitive knowledge of oneself as a positive learner develops self-efficacy. There is extensive research on the significant positive correlations between students' academic achievement and their increased self-efficacy. Self-efficacy develops the knowledge and capabilities needed to understand and regulate the processes related to effective metacognition. Hopefully you can see how this all ties together, and we can circle back around to the topic of high leverage practices and the specific HLP chosen for this video, which was teaching cognitive and metacognitive strategies to support learning and independence. The video explained the importance of teaching metacognitive strategies to all students to enhance their learning achievement. Likewise, as students gain cognitive and metacognitive strategies that support and encourage their learning, their independence will also increase. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.